What's up everybody, Matt Maran here, and this is an in-depth look at the all-new 2022 Toyota Corolla Cross. So first off, we're going to be looking at an XLE model, but then later we will look at the LE and the L. But it's a really cool looking vehicle. You know, it has nice little touches there, the little Corolla Cross badge there on the seat pillar. And it is based on Corolla mechanicals, but it's of course very, very different. It's on a slightly different platform. Yeah, it's really a lot larger than a Corolla. You have much more rear seat room, cargo space, all that kind of stuff. It does run the higher engine from the regular Corollas though. It's a 2-liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder. It does 169 horsepower and 150 pound-feet of torque. It also uses a CVT across all models. It does have a real first gear, so it'll feel a little bit more natural in traffic and things like that. But it's really nice, you know. So this XLE has the 18-inch wheels, all kinds of nice little touches here on the inside. It's very similar to a regular Corolla sedan interior. Many of the same components there, but of course slightly unique here for the SUV being a little bit higher and whatnot. But yeah, it has digital gauges here for the center on the XLEs, and you have the 8-inch screen. This one has the optional JBL stereo upgrade, which is an option on all models. You have the auto dual zone climate control. But look at that back seat. That's a very spacious back seat. This is also the Softex leather-like material, but I'm 5'9", and sitting behind where the seat was comfortably positioned up front there, I still had several inches of legroom, which for this subcompact segment is rare. So very, very nice there. And then this is an LE model. So right away you can see that you have different headlights that don't have the LED accents. You have smaller wheels. These are 17-inch alloy wheels here instead of the 18s. You'll also see that the grille surround doesn't have the silver, and there's no LED fog lights and a few other minor things. It still is, very nice. Still have the keyless access and everything. But you will see you go down to cloth seats here in the LEs. And it looks like a nice, cloth seat there. And you also do have analog gauges now. You still have a little digital portion there on the right. You do also have Toyota Safety Sense 2.0 as standard on all models. That means you have the adaptive cruise and things like that as standard. Still get the 8-inch touchscreen too, and that is an option to, again, go up to that JBL upgraded stereo. Still have auto climate control here, which is great. And, no heated seats here. You do have heated seats and a moonroof in the XLE that are available. But then out back here, you can see still looks very nice. And you see the cargo space here, which is also massive. For a subcompact crossover, that is also unheard of. That may be best in class. It is enormous for this segment. Honestly, it doesn't seem much smaller than a RAV4. Really good amount of space. It's not super deep. You do have those little alcoves there on each side, but whenever you lift up the floor, you'll just see a spare tire, which is very nice to have a spare tire, but you don't really have much extra usable space under the floor like some others do. Really a good amount of space there. And yeah, it just looks really nice. You also do get for that back seat dedicated air vents as standard, and you also get 2 USB jacks on the LE and XLE as well. So anyway, that is the LE model here of the Corolla Cross, and now this is the base L trim. So right away you can see a few different things. You'll see that you have these 17-inch steel wheels with plastic hubcaps, and a few other things that are a little bit cheaper here. So you'll see that you have black mirrors instead of the body colored ones. You also lose the roof rails. On the inside here, you still have cloth seats just like the LE, but a little bit less trim there on the steering wheel. Still have the analog gauges, just like the LEs do. But you will see that you go down to a smaller screen. This is a 7-inch screen, still the same functionality. All of them have standard Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, so that's great. Still have nice climate controls, but they're not automatic, so you just have the manual fan speed there. But still some nice padding. You do have a twist key here on the base model as well, for those who prefer that. The LE and XLE have a push button start. Out back here, you'll see you lose the rear wiper. You also lose the tinting on that rear glass and on the side rear glass. You also don't have any badge there on the back, denoting it as an L, so a badgeless one will be a base model. The LEs and the XLEs do have a badge there on the right. You do have standard LED brake lights, but you don't get LED tail lamps unless you go up for the XLE as well. That's paired up with the LED headlights, which are standard, but you get an LED accent light there on the XLE only. But yeah, so overall still looks pretty nice, and it's going to be, again, the amount of space you're going to get is going to be very, very impressive. Now, they didn't announce pricing yet for these, but it should land somewhere between, where the Toyota CHR is and the RAV4, of course, should come in less than a RAV4 by a decent bit, but you still have so much great space there. And yeah, it should be a really promising vehicle. All-wheel drive is available on all models, and the all-wheel drive models do get an independent rear suspension. If you go for a front-wheel drive one, you get a simpler torsion beam rear suspension, and fuel economy should be pretty solid as well. They're estimating it at 32 mpg combined for the front-wheel drive version and 30 mpg combined for the all-wheel drive versions. And it is an on-demand all-wheel drive system that can disconnect the rear wheels whenever it needs to give you the best fuel economy possible. And so yeah, should shape up to be a very strong competitor here, and it should be available sometime later this fall. But yeah, so that's the in-depth tour of the 2022 Toyota Corolla Cross. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments below. Otherwise, thank you guys very much for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Take care.